Hello and welcome to Simon's Simple English. In today's video we're going to look at some Ielts speaking part 1 questions and answers about jobs. I'm going to give you some example answers, some of which are good and some of which are not so good, and we can discuss why some are better than others. We discussed the language, the grammar, and how I organise my answers. If you're new to Simon's Simple English, welcome. And please don't forget to subscribe and also hit the bell notification so you get informed of any of my future videos. This is the first video in the part 1 subject of jobs. There is a second video and there's a link up top to that video. Without further ado, let's get started. The questions about jobs we're going to look at in this video are as follows. Do you like your job? Where do you work? How long have you worked there? And I'm going to give you 2 possible sample answers for each question. First question, where do you work? I work in a small bakery which is by the river in the centre of the city. It is a small place with chairs for 10 people. Some people say it's too small, but I think it's okay. Now, this is just an example to show you the type of answer that we don't really want to give. Because look how many times I've repeated the word small. It's not showing my vocabulary, I'm not showing my language. And the descriptions are very basic. Let's see if we can make this better. So this is not a great answer. So where do you work? At present, I'm working in a quaint family-run bakery located a stone's throw from the river in the central business district. It's a pretty tiny establishment which only seats 10 people. Some may say it's a bit cramped or pokey, but I find it cozy. So that's a bit of a better answer than the last one. Let's have a look at the language I've used. So instead of I work or my job, I've said employed, which is an adjective. I said it was quaint, that the bakery was quaint, and that's another adjective as well. And that means like attractive but old-fashioned. I said about the location, I said it was a stone's throw away. And you can use this phrase, a stone's throw away, to say something is near to something. I said the central business district instead of the city centre or the centre of the city. The central business district is basically where most of the business is done in the city. I called it an establishment instead of a company, or the bakery again. I've said establishment, and you can use this to talk about where you work, or a firm, or a company. I said it's cramped or pokey, and both these words basically mean that something is uncomfortably small. And I described it as cozy. And cozy is like small but comfortable and warm. So the next answer, where do you work? I work in the office of a famous university in England. The university building is old and it must be hundreds of years old. All the university buildings have a lot of history and look nice. Again, this isn't the best example of an answer for you. The language is pretty basic. It's alright. The descriptive language and the grammar are not going to show you off to your best. I think we can make this better. So where do you work? I'm currently working in the admissions department of one of the most prestigious universities in England. The faculty buildings are pretty ancient and they must be centuries old. The whole campus is steeped in history with such amazingly beautiful architecture. How's that? Yeah, I think that was a lot better. So let's look at the language I've used. So I started out, I'm currently working. So that is showing the examiner that I can use the present continuous tense. Now, as you know, one of the things you get graded on in the Ielts speaking is your grammatical range and accuracy. So you want to use different verb tenses. So this is a way, instead of saying I work at, you could say I'm working at. Vocabulary there, we got prestigious, and that means something is well known, that it's famous. We have faculty or campus. I've used both of these words, and faculty or campus is another way to talk about the university or a part of the university even. Ancient is another word for old. Steeped in. If something's steeped in something, it's filled with something. Here I say it's steeped in history, which is a good phrase that you could use if it's old. Amazingly, so that's from amazing, but amazingly is very impressive. So it's amazingly beautiful is what I said. And then we got architecture. Architecture is how buildings are designed or constructed. So instead of just saying it's a nice building, I say it's beautiful architecture. Right, the next question we'll look at is, do you like your job? I like my job. I like it. It's fun and interesting. I like to meet interesting people and learn new things. And I get lots of money. I like my job. Very basic answer again. This isn't the best answer we could have given. Look how many times I say like. It's okay to repeat your language a little bit, but try not to just say the same thing over and over again, because you want to impress the examiner with your vocabulary. Let's have a look at a better answer. Do you like your job? Well, to be honest, I'm very fond of my job. Not only does it allow me to meet the most fascinating and interesting people, it lets me continue learning and discovering new things, as well as broadening my horizons. On top of that, the money is not too shabby, so I can't complain. Let's look at the language I've used in this answer. I said I'm fond of. Fond of is a phrasal verb, and that means that you like something a lot. So whenever they ask, do you like something, or if you want to say you like or dislike something, fond of is a good way to add some idiomatic language into your answer. Fascinating. Fascinating is another way of saying interesting. Discovering is a verb, and that's to find out something. Not too shabby. So here I'm using a negative phrase. So instead of saying what it is, I'm saying what it isn't. So not too shabby means that it's not bad. In other words, it's pretty good. And broaden my horizons. This is an idiomatic phrase, and it means to expand your knowledge or experience. Organisation wise, I said on top of that. On top of that, the money's not too shabby. So here is a linking phrase, and I'm just using it to add more information. I could have said furthermore or just and, but I said on top of that. So another answer for do you like your job is this one. I'm extremely keen on my current position. It has always been an ambition to become a tour guide, so when I secured this employment, it was like a dream come true. It doesn't even feel like work. It's like hanging out with my international friends and showing them around this magnificent city. Let's look at the language I've got here. I've got keen on, which is another phrasal verb and another way to say that you like something. Instead of job, I've used the noun position. So instead of job, I've used the noun position. Employment. So employment or position can both be used to say job. A dream come true. So that's a phrase, and that's basically describing something you've always wanted to do or always wanted to have. To hang out is another phrasal verb, and that's to spend time with. So I like to hang out with my friends. It means I like to spend time with my friends. Magnificent. This adjective means that it's very impressive and very beautiful. Next question we're going to look at is how long have you worked there? I've worked there for 2 years now. I started at the start of the summer 2 years ago. This isn't a great answer. It's too short. It's not developed at all. And this question, how long have you something, could be work, it could be study, it could be anything. This is a great opportunity for you to use more complicated verb tenses. Let's have a look at a better answer. How long have you worked there? Actually, I've been working here for just under 2 years. I'm very grateful that I was fortunate enough to commence my corporate career right after graduation. Okay, let's look at the vocabulary and the grammar I've used. So I started out actually, and this is a great way to organize your answer. So I started with actually. So if you say actually and then something else, this is emphasizing what you said, or introducing, could be a new topic. So I said actually I have been working. So I have been working. This is the use of the present perfect continuous tense. I have been working. And that's a good way in which you could show the examiner that you can use this verb tense, because it might be difficult just to use it in other areas. So before your exam, think about how you can show different verb tenses to the examiner to make sure you get the best grade possible for your grammatical range and accuracy. With regard to the vocabulary, I said I'm grateful. And that means that I appreciate something. If you're grateful, it means you appreciate something, you're thankful. Fortunate. So I was fortunate. That means I had good luck and good fortune. Here I said about a corporate career. So a career is a job, but a corporate career is a job in a large company. Another possible way that I could have answered this would be, funnily enough, in a couple of months I will have been working here for 2 years. Fortunately, I managed to secure this position right after graduating from university and obtaining my degree. So let's have a look at the language I've used here. So I started with funnily enough. And that's another way you can introduce your idea or what you're going to talk about. So it's a good way to organize your answer. Funnily enough, in a couple of months. So this is a phrase used to introduce something surprising. Grammar, I've said I will have been working, and that's using the future perfect continuous tense, and this is a very difficult verb tense to use naturally. So if you can say at some point in the future I will have been working, I will have been studying, I will have been learning, that's a great way to show the examiner your grammatical range and hopefully your accuracy. So try to practice using this so that possibly if they ask you about how long have you done something, how long have you played the guitar, could be anything, you could use it in your Ielts speaking test. And the vocabulary we've got here, we've got fortunately, which is luckily really, and again position, I've said position instead of job. So there we have it. Those are 3 different questions and answers for part 1 IELTS speaking about jobs. I hope you found it useful. Just while you're here, I want to mention a great way for you to practice and prepare for your IELTS speaking would be to talk to a teacher such as myself. And you can do that on a website called Italki, which is a fantastic way to get you ready for the IELTS speaking. Okay, there's tens of thousands of teachers on there, many of whom are very experienced in helping students with their IELTS. And the people at Italki very kindly have said that if you go through the link in the description below, I have a special link, they will give you $10 credit for free once you sign up and you make your first purchase. So check that out. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you found it useful and I hope you found something that you can use in your answers. Please don't forget to check out the part 2 video. Good luck with your English journey and good luck with your IELTS speaking test. And I will see you again here next time. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.